Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Advuyad Revival podcast, where we're bringing you all things Iris Prize. Today, we are going to be discussing the Best of British collection, Kinship, which covers connections and relationships of all different sorts. But today, we're going to also show you an interview with Grande at the Queer Emporium, and a little bit of archive footage from last year's Iris Prize Film Festival with an interview with Kate Herron.
Hello, I am Kate Herron and I am a screenwriter and director working in film and TV and comic books and books.
Why do you think it's important to explore LGBTQ+ themes in TV?
I think all aspects of the community are very important to represent. I think particularly in big commercial projects because there are so many beautiful queer films, but you know, people that might not necessarily know any queer people can see those films and sometimes see themselves in those films and relate to some of the things and be like, oh, actually, I think that's how you can create like good allyship. And also just, you know, we live in a time where people are trying to push that divide even more.
Do you have a preference in terms of genre that you like to work on?
Honestly, I think I'm just greedy. I think I get so excited by genre because it was like in Doctor Who, I guess what I've done, you know, love stories to some extent, but I hadn't done one that was like an out and out love story and also like in that time period. And I was like, how do we do this in a way? Because I just might not get to do this again. So I think that was really fun. I obviously love sci-fi, but no, I can't really pick one genre. I think for me, like I love the rules of filmmaking and then seeing how you can subvert those and surprise people.
How does your approach to directing/writing change when working on different genres?
Weirdly, I think on the genres it doesn't change because, okay, so in Loki I had a jump scare, which I added because I love horror, but at the same time I think building up the tension to a good jump scare is exactly the same as like a good punchline in a comedic line. It's just all about tension and pacing. And I think the thing that honestly changes probably the most the way I write and direct is it's usually just project dependent because there's been some projects where I've just been the writer. And so like Doctor Who, for example, you come in as a writer on that, which is amazing, but you're working for the showrunner. So you know when you hand your script over, and look, Russell was very generous and to be honest, like didn't really change that much in our script, which was very nice, but you have to go in knowing like that could happen. When you're directing on something where you're not in that role is that you are there to serve them and that project. You know, like Loki, for example, I was essentially that role. So it's a very different way of approaching it. Or like The Sims, like I'm writing and directing that. So, you know, it's just, I kind of use the same skills, but it's also just, it depends like, yeah, what position of power I'm in, I suppose. And then also just like, what role am I doing, essentially.
That was a very exciting interview we got to get. There are plenty of other talks that will be happening this year as well throughout the week. So make sure you book tickets for that. We're going to switch gears slightly now. So we're going to go to an interview with my guest and one of the amazing drag queens that we have around Central Cardiff.
Hello everyone, my name is Grande, your sweet, spicy, steaming hot beverage, all the way from RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 7! And what was that first question, sorry?
What does Asian queer excellence mean to you?
I could talk about that all night, but as somebody who is mixed race, English and Thai, I really use my drag to reconnect with my Thai side at all times. So I think the answer to the question for me would be having an unapologetic belief and expression of who you are.
So on Drag Race, you said a quote that really resonated with me and that I believe probably resonated with a lot of its audience of being double and not half. I was wondering if you could just speak a little bit more on that.
Of course. Firstly, thank you so much. That really does mean the world to me because that lyric means the world to me. I remember writing it in the hotel room for Drag Race. It's like a nice touch on double shot with me being like chai tea grande, so it's like a coffee kind of beverage pun. But for me, growing up, I always felt really disconnected from my Thai side because I can't speak Thai. My dad used to work a lot, so we really absorbed kind of like the English side of my heritage. So I always felt less than. And even when I was describing my heritage to people, like, oh, I used to say half English, half Thai, which made me feel like I was saying I was less than each of those. But actually, it's not less than, it's both. You know, it's both of them. So that's when I adopted the whole like double, not half mentality. And I really try and live my life by it. Just because I can't speak Thai doesn't make me any less Thai. You know, I'm still Thai by blood, English by blood. So that's why I really want anyone who's mixed race, and hopefully it resonates with other people as well. I want them to really use that mantra and celebrate it because, yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that was a great interview with Chai Tea Grande, one of the contestants on Drag Race UK currently. How was that for you, Alfie?
It was an incredible
experience.
Yeah. What was the event you were at?
It was the Bit and Peach cabaret drag show being hosted by the Queer Emporium,
Okay.
who on Thursday is hosting a talk with Iris, Tales of the City.
Very cool.
I was ecstatic to be invited to attend, and I loved getting to see the Pan-Asian performers, and it felt really pertinent to be able to talk a bit about representation with them, and in connection to Iris and Best of British Kinship.
Yeah, so today we're talking about the Iris Prize Best of British Collection Kinship, which talks about connections of all kind, but it actually does feature the Queer Emporium and drag pretty heavily in one of the documentaries called Trailblazers, which I did really enjoy. It was a very interesting look into, I mean, both Cardiff and Bristol, but specifically Cardiff drag culture and queer people and where their safe spaces can be. Was there anything specific that jumped out to you about Trailblazers?
Yeah, so Alia mentions Asian queer joy and excellence.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me, and I tried to take that into what I was talking to the other Pan-Asian queens at the drag show about. It was a very powerful short film. I really enjoyed seeing the sense of found family and community that came with that.
There was a big sense of found family.
Yeah, for all of the different forms of love that happen in the Kinship collection.
Yeah.
Community love like that is really important, especially for the LGBTQ plus community as a whole. Because if we don't have each other's backs, who does?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think there was a good representation of a community love in also one of the other films in Kinship, Souls United.
That's what.
Yeah, a very good I mean, it talks about women's football, which is always good to talk about in media. I think they do a fantastic job with Souls United. It is a fun. It's like quirky. It's peppy. It's very like of its time. It's very like Gen Z. I felt.
Oh, absolutely. I not even halfway through watching it, I was like, oh, this feels like a series pilot.
Yeah, yeah. I would 100% watch a series. Like, it was just a very fun and engaging story, and the characters were very clearly like fleshed out.
Yes.
Very interesting to watch. Yeah. There was there a any part of Souls United that really stuck out to you?
I thought it was interesting to see the undercurrents of jealousy that started bubbling up, but at the same time, even though some things end up kind of going wrong in a way because of that, everyone involved in the film still ends up having each other's back at the end of the day.
Yep.
Which I thought was an equally powerful message.
Yeah. And again, community love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very, very good film. Another one that was a very different vibe, but still very good, was The Second Time Around. That was a great film. That was a mystery drama. Like, you didn't really know what to expect when coming into it. And I really enjoyed it personally. I thought it was a very interesting story that, like, gave you a little twist right at the end that made you think. It was really good.
There's sometimes when I'm watching things that have purposeful ambiguity, where I look at it and go, I know that's what they were going for, but I wish they would have explained it a little bit. But I thought they did. I thought it was really successful in the way that they set up what they were trying to go for in the very start. And I think the way that the film goes about handling grief was also presented in a very in a way that I connected with.
Yeah, it was a very good, it was a very loving film. All of the films,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all about connection, so love comes into it. But all the films felt very like handcrafted and loved
Yes.
in the making of it. Especially Meat Raffle, which was the other one on the list, and that one I found very fun and just interesting to watch. Was there anything that stuck out to you about that one?
What hit me the most was that for a short film that is so obviously like meant to be a comedy, I still ended up getting hit with some of the heavier messages and sort of like other sides of the emotional journeys happening for the characters, especially because it felt like they positioned those moments right after like the height of the comedic highs. So and then they're like, oh, here's a very real moment, and then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no, it was a very like, yeah, it was a very up and down experience, but yeah, it kept you going throughout. It was very connecting. Thank you so much for watching the Advwyad Revival podcast, which is brought to you by the Performance and Media students here at the University of South Wales.